let's get onto the mat, everybody. Just take this off. I don't think I need it. And we're going to start with tiptoes and heels. So just feeling that, gentle rock come into the body. Remember, you don't need to go too high up or too far back. It's just a gentle shifting of the weight forward and back as if you were sitting on a rocking chair. And we're just rocking, 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 rocking. And just feeling that lovely set of muscles that begin to activate. You can feel the feet warming up, the calves, the shins, all doing a little bit of work there. And then once you've got that going, nice rhythm, shift your awareness down, feel the floor now, and see how you are rolling over the floor. That little shift in perception just gets your balance center, your vestibular online as well. And then we'll just bring that to stillness. And as you do so, just notice how the feet feel. Feel that rooting feeling as the feet relax down into the earth. Take a breath. And as you breathe out, send the breath down and really feel those roots grow. Imagine them, if you like, growing right down deep into the earth and wrapping themselves around a big boulder or a big crystal so you feel really anchored in. And then we'll do the hands. We'll come back to that because we're going to use that a little bit later. So just waking up the hands. Remember, you can give them a bit of a massage. You can massage the reflex point here in the center of the hand. You can stretch and squeeze. Stretch and squeeze is really coming for me this week. For some reason, like my hands are really loving that one. To feel everything, all of this palm of the hand and the fingers all stretch out. Always the tips of the fingers. My tips of the fingers seem to be a bit sleepy, so this always wakes them up. And of course, you can do things like the light touch, nice, gentle, or round the fingers, however you like, just some way so that when we bring these hands down by our sides, we can really feel them, like really awake in our awareness. And then take a breath. And as you breathe out, send the breath down. Feel the hands and the feet at the same time. The feet rooting, the hands buzzing there. And can you feel them together? Lovely. And then we are going to do our little facial stuff. So here we are. Let's come a bit closer. We're going to do north, south, east, west. So with the tongue, we're going to point to north and hold it for as long as you can until it aches. And then you're going to point south. And then inside the cheek, east and west. And then relax the jaw. Let's do that one more time. North, south. Feel the stretching, east and west. And what we're really after is this sensation afterwards as the jaw really goes into that dribble mode. I'm going to spend a little bit more time on this today. Just bring the fingers here to the middle of the chin. Find the top of the chin bone. And then start to slide your fingertips out towards the sides until you find a sore bit. They're roughly level with the edges of your mouth. And just press that sore bit down. Then slide the fingers a little bit further along, roughly level with the cheeks, and there should be like a semi sort of, not as strong, but still a little bit sore point there. And as you're pressing, you can see that the jaw, the muscles are all starting to release. Bringing the fingertips to the muscles between the upper and the lower jaw, and we're pushing that way. It's as if you're leaning on imagine yourself leaning on a desk and you're just pushing the fingers into those jaw muscles. Lovely. And then we'll find these ones that are literally below the cheekbone. And again, we're pushing upwards towards the eyes. You know which ones they are because they're the ones that hurt. And then find the edge of the chin, sorry, the edge of the cheekbone, and again push up. Again, you know which ones because they're kind of sore. And after all of that, we're going to feel that jaw really go. And we can add a little bit of stroking and across and flick, a little bit of stroking to just really accentuate that. So now that we're standing, we can feel that jaw really, really loose. We're going to take a breath in, feel the jaw relaxed, and feel the feet and the hands all at the same time. Can you feel your feet, hands, and face? You can draw a circle if you like of lines, so a line going from the jaw to the hand to the foot all the way around. And try and feel feet, hands, and face together. Lovely. All right, let's bring the hands into our sun salutation position. So we're feeling the feet nice and rooted into the ground. We're breathing in, we're lengthening up and back, opening the chest. As you breathe out, we're going to fold forwards. Now, this first fold is nice and gentle. You don't have to overstretch. You don't have to stretch at all. You can just feel a little bit of a pull, but try and relax the toes, relax the neck, and let go of that jaw again. Just see if that makes a little bit of a difference and you're able to just release the tension slowly. Breathing in, looking up, we're going to flatten the back. Coming down breastbone first, and then let go again of the jaw and head. Oh, just this time you can stretch a little bit more if you want, but still relaxing. We're going to take a step back with one leg. Drop the knee. And now we're leaning forwards. And we're trying to leave this back leg behind. This is called dragon pose because the leg is meant to be like the dragon tail. So you're leaving that tail behind as you lean forward. And you can feel a great big stretch there in the groin. Push the floor away from you, relax your toes, see if it go a bit deeper. Once you've got a stretch there, keep it there as you come up. You're still leaning forwards into that front leg. And now we're going to reach up with the arms. Looking up, lengthening upwards with the arms and dropping downwards with the back. Then bring the hands back down to the floor. Push the floor away from you one more time and let those legs relax one more time. Now we're going to bring this front foot back, coming into plank pose. The purpose of this plank pose here is to create a bit of strength, but it is also a bit of core work. So this will make more sense after we've done the core work today. And breathe. Don't forget to breathe. And once you feel that that heart rate has gone up, and it's faster for some and slower for others, so you take your time with it, come down. And I'm going to put palm upon palm, make a pillow with our hands and place the forehead on the hands and start our little bottom roll. Now this little bottom roll, you're getting into a nice rhythm with it. It's not a big push. You're not pushing your bum around all the way. It's just a really small side to side movement in a nice rhythm. And it's helpful to have a song or a rhyme or a count or a drum beat to move to. So if I were doing a count, it would sound something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's quite fast. And it's effortless, so reduce the amount of effort that you're putting in. However much effort you're putting in, halve it. Still keep moving, but just halve the effort. Now, quite soon, your nervous system is going to respond. It's going to go, oh, yeah, I get the message. I've done enough of that. So listen out for any change. It can come in the form of a sigh, a deep breath, a hot flush, a tingle, or just a sense that everything was going really well and then suddenly, oh no, I don't want to do this anymore. When that happens, bring this to stillness and observe your body. It's switching into that relaxation mode now. And then we're going to bring the hands around. Tuck the elbows in. In breath, we're lengthening. Creating this lovely length in the spine and squeezing those adrenal glands. Push slightly harder and bring yourself up and back. Keep the hands stuck to the mat though and lean out of your wrists. Feel the space that's created in the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, and all the way to the tail. And you might find there's a little bit of a block up there by the diaphragm. So let's loosen the diaphragm. Using the hands, again, to gently rock the ribcage, just like you do the bottom roll. Just a little rock, fairly fast. Now, because we're stretching as we're rocking, usually the nervous system responds a little bit quicker, so you only need to do about 5 or 10 seconds, and then you sit back again and notice the difference. As things let go a little bit more. Coming up onto hands and knees. A little bit of the S to C reflex here, the STNR. So we're going to pull with the hands and look up, cat-cow, and feel the stretch in the spine, the lengthening. Pull, open the spine. Now push with the hands. The tail responds, and as you come into C shape and you push with the knees, you're going to feel that core begin to engage. Pull with the hands, the tail moves. And there's like a wave up the spine as it reaches and opens. Push with the hands back to C shape. Keep going, pull. Feeling that pull with the hands. And then a gentle push into the C shape. Core engagement. We're going to be working with this today, so get a little bit clearer than normal with this one. Pull, lengthen. And push. Feel the core engaging there, picking up between the thighs into the belly button. One more. Again, feel that core engage. Notice that the neck and jaw are relaxed. Bring the spine now to neutral, knee the rest to C. Tuck the toes under, but look up slightly as you come into downward dog. Now, as we're stretching here, a couple of things to remember. Relax your feet, your toes, your jaw, your neck. Yes, we're stretching the back of the body, but we need to be relaxed while we do it. As you reach with the hands, and as you breathe in, feel the spine naturally reach. And now as you breathe out, feel the core engagement. Breathing in, you naturally reach. Breathing out, feel that core engagement. Now, as you know, some of you, if you need to move around, so let's say your diaphragm's still tight, you could use the hands and give the rib cage a rock. Or you could do a miniature S to C, forward and back. There's all sorts of options when you know. You can even rock the head if the neck and shoulders are tight, but just relax at the end. Now, of course, everybody is different how long your arms will let you stay there for, so listen to your body. Don't wait for me. Bring your foot forward, same foot that went back earlier. Now we're going back into dragon pose, but on the other side. So feeling this gland here, really important gland, one of the biggest glands that we have that pumps the lymphatic system around. So a good stretch here makes a really big difference to how you feel. Relax down, soften your toes, feel the stretch. It's like you're leaving that leg behind, coming up. Keep that stretch going, engage your core so you don't wobble, and then breathing in, we're reaching up. So bringing the hands back down. And again, a second little push for the floor, and then a second letting go, so that leg feels like it's being dragged behind you. And now we'll bring this back leg forward. We're coming into forward bend. And dropping down. Let's grab hold of the elbows here. Let go of the head and just give ourselves a little bit of a rock. Another little ribcage rock, another chance for the diaphragm to begin to release. And then when you're ready, just come to stillness, drop the head, drop the arms. Breathing in, we're going to look up, flatten the back. And we're going to come down breastbone first. And then just let the head go. Relax the jaw. And gently uncurl. Find your feet, find your roots. Again, right down to that boulder that you're hooked into. Breathing in, opening up the chest. Breathing in, lengthen the spine. And now let's bring the hands together and draw a line down the center of the body. Now you can physically do this with your thumb down through the face, down through the breastbone, all the way down. So you really know where that central line is. Once you've found the central line, you'll find the core is there. So when we were breathing out earlier in C shape, the core was active here. So you might feel that. Feel the feet either side of the line, the hands on the line, and the jaw relaxing into that line. So feet, hands and face. Can you feel them all together? And be aware of the line and the breath all at the same time. Feet, hands and face. Line, center line. Let's center ourselves. Let all your thoughts, everything that's going on around you, just drift into the background. The only thing that's here right now is your breath, the line, feet, hands and face. And some days this is easy to do, and other days it just takes that little bit longer, you know, and you can sort of tell where you're at with that. At least I can. All right, let's get down to what we're doing today, which is core work. So we're going to start standing. Now, when we do tiptoes and heels, we are strengthening our arch. It's one of the most important parts of the core. And to get the arch active, we need the toes to be doing a job, okay? So for some of us, this takes a little bit of practice because the toes don't actually follow our commands. We tell the toes to do something and they won't do it, okay? So can you push your big toe into the floor? Can you push your little toe into the floor? Can you get both big toe and little toe pushing into the ground? Good. Now, if you think of the toes at the front there as the two corners of a box, the back two corners are in the heels. So make sure that you are evenly distributed between the front two corners and the back two corners. Okay, so that's why tiptoes and heels is also good, because it teaches you where that center is. And when you're centered, you're going to feel the arch there. The arch is right in the center. And then we want to lift that arch. Okay, how do we lift the arch? We push a little bit hard. Now we're over exaggerating. We don't normally walk around like this, but this is just a good way to activate the core support muscles. Next bit is the knees. Now you probably can't see this unless you look at, let me just switch the camera quickly to this camera. You can see my knees here. And I'm doing this pick up, pick up, pick up, pick up. Let's see if you can see it sideways, where my thigh muscles are picking up. They're picking up my kneecaps. It's not very good, sorry. Tried. Let's try and switch it. So keep picking up. That's if you've got dodgy knees, and they hurt in any way, this is one of the best exercises that you can do for your knees, is to strengthen all the muscles around them. I just do. Now, if you now press the big toe, lift the arch, it feels like you're sucking up water, lift up your kneecaps, you're now going to feel the inner thighs kind of tweak a little bit. Okay, and this is what I call the golden arch. We've created an arch of support here in the center of the legs. And now we're going to pick up the marble. Now we'll come back to the marble picking up, because I know it can be a bit tricky, ladies. So we're going to pick that up and place it in the belly button. And so what we've got is an arch with a spike that comes up to your belly button. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your standing core with all the support muscles active. Now, we did this exercise last week. I want you to imagine now that you've got a cord tied into the wall in front of you, and there's a little hook into your belly button. And so you're being held by that hook, but you can relax away from it. Remember, we did what the core is not last week, which is all about relaxing the lower back, not using your buttocks. You're not like this with your core pulling yourself up from below. You're not pushing with the spine or your buttocks. It's just the core. That's it. It's just the core. That's one way of looking at it. Another way is if we go back to the roots that we had earlier. Okay, so when we created that roots down, down, down into the earth and wrapped ourselves around a boulder, roots have two jobs. One, they let go. They grow downwards. That's the back of the body, letting go and growing downwards. But they also draw up nutrients. So you think about sucking up through the center of the legs into the inner thighs and drawing those nutrients right up into your hara center, your womb, your center of energy. Okay, so there we've got a good. Now, this becomes a bit more obvious when we try and do a bit of balance. So if you take your weight over to the side here and feel that lift. Here it comes. This leg is now working harder, and you've got to pick up a little bit more, especially if you want to take the foot off the ground. And here you'll feel your weak bit, okay? So when you're balancing, you notice which muscle is having to work the hardest here. It's the big toe for me and a bit of the knees. And then we'll swap sides. So again, take the weight. Oh, no, but actually, before you do that, notice the difference. Notice how wide awake this side of the arch is now. Really woken it up. And then we'll go over to the other side. Again, find your balance. Pick up the leg if you want to. You don't have to. And you can always hold on to something if you're worried about falling over. But just again, like, where's the weakness here? Oh, it's definitely in my arch. And feel that having to work so hard, the arch in my big toe. And it's different to the other side. Lovely. And as we bring the legs down, we can feel, okay, both arches. Lovely. Now, if we bend the knees now, so if we're going to go sit on a chair, we're going to do some strengthening for this area. But first we're going to find our marble, as I like to call it. Imagine that you're hanging off some monkey bars here. Okay, and remember, when you hang off monkey bars, you're going to let go of the lower back. That sack of potatoes feeling is going to come into your lower back. And now just imagine that you're 10 or 11 and you're going to go, oh, I'm going to hook my foot around that other monkey bar. Now lift both legs up. Now you're not actually going to do, you're going to imagine I'm lifting both legs up. What do I have to do to get those legs off the floor? And hopefully you're going to feel that C shape come in. That slight C shape coming in, that lift here as the marble goes, oh, I think I need to be doing this. Yeah, and then come down and relax. And you can sort of feel that, okay, that those muscles have been working. Now, the support muscles for the core are really important, especially when we're doing standing stuff, walking, going upstairs, going up big steps or something in those old stone steps. And one of the things that stops people being able to get on the floor in old age is this particular issue. So we're going to do a couple of strengthening exercises here. Let's have one leg forward, one leg back. Bend both knees. And then come down as far as you feel comfortable. And you'll feel the arches, the inner thighs going, oh my God, okay, they might be overworking though. Make sure that you engage that core. And then push yourself up with the core. Get used to using the core more than everything else. Coming back down, a little bit lower, maybe this time hold it for a little bit longer. Feel those muscles lift your core. See how as soon as you lift the core, it supports and the legs don't ache as much. One more, coming down, hold it, feel it, pick up, pick up. Now, of course, this can be done holding on to like a work surface or the back of a chair. if you're feeling wobbly. But it's so good for strengthening all these right muscles. Let's swap over, do the other side, coming down. Hold it. See the difference? This side a little bit weaker for me. I have to really think about picking up my marble and push up. And again. Pick up and push up. Now you don't have to do 3 if you're getting fatigued, obviously. Just do as many as you feel comfortable. It's your body, you decide. But trying to get that sense. Another nice exercise, this one is to really accentuate the spring-likeness of the core. So when we're tired and heavy and our core's gone, what happens is that we feel like we weigh a ton. And then you wonder at those athletes that, you know, run miles and they look like they're fairies. So let's have one leg behind us here. And now we're going to go, as we pick up, so we're taking balance, we're going into the other leg. That leg is picking up the core, the muscle here. And you're going to pick up this leg with the core and place it in front of you and then pick it up. So we're getting used to this idea that this core picks up, picks up, picks up. Yeah, we're getting quite, you know, like skippy with it. Let's do the other side. Might not be so easy. Pick up. So start slow, get the idea. Yes, I'm picking up with my marble. Yes, I'm picking up down there. Good. And then you start to get that, oh yes, this could be quite. So what is skipping? So skipping is when the other leg joins in. Pick. Pick. And you can feel when the other leg joins in, it's like, oh yeah, that is real. You really need the core. So you've got like going onto the tiptoe and picking up your leg. That's why it can be quite tiring. All right, let's come back to 2 feet. Hopefully by now we've got a really clear idea of this arch, right? That was the whole point. So big toe, little toe, arches, knees, inner thighs and core here. Now obviously when you're standing normally, you're not doing very much, it's all down to the core. So you've got that cord that's holding you up the whole time so the rest of the body can relax. Lean away slightly from that core and feel it active at the front. It's very helpful as well for our stretching. So let's slide the hands down halfway. We're going to do table pose first. Knees are slightly, don't lock your knees in this because we hardly ever have the knees locked even when we walk. And halfway down, take a breath in. And as you breathe out, think C shape and pick up your core. And from that pick up, start to fold. Slide all the way down. You'll notice that you get a much stronger stretch. Let go of the head and jaw, relax the shoulders and arms. And as you breathe out, picking up the core. And notice that as soon as I pick up there, I feel like I'm stretching some more. Notice also that you're really solid on your feet, that you feel kind of really held in by the earth. Because every time you breathe out, engage the core, there's this memory of being hooked into the ground by the feet. And let's stretch out the hands in front of us and take a step back. Reaching and letting go of the heels. We're in downward dog, so we can do a couple of little exercises here that are quite nice, like bend the knee on one leg. Let the other leg start to take that support. Feel the inner arch lift. It's really easy to drop the arch in downward dog. So use that big toe. And if you want to, you can lift the leg up. Now, this leg is being lifted, guess by what? The core, not the buttocks. If you get sore hips or crampy feelings, it's because you're using muscles you're not meant to be using. It's all done by the core. Swapping sides. Get that big toe working, get that arch lifting. And if you want to, these are all optional, these leg lifts.
You might have had enough already with your arms. You might want to come down. If you did do the leg lift, have another moment here with the feet in the position, big toes, and then we can drop down. And have a little stretch here. Just wait for the blood supply to return to normal. It's really good for the heart to be above the head, but it's not so nice to move too quickly afterwards. Take your time. So we're going to do a little back bend here. I'm going to do upward dog. So upward dog is the one, it's best to see it this way, with the arms straight. They're slightly away from you, so it's not, the hands are not directly below the shoulders this time. And as we come and we lean forwards, we drop down. Now, the reason I picked this is because you want to try and feel like you're rooting down from the pubic bone there, so that as you breathe in, you can lengthen the spine. So even in back bends, the core is slightly active. And coming back to child pose. C shape, so as you breathe out, engage your core. This is also really good for the adrenal glands, so let's do it a couple more times. Coming forwards, dropping down, root down, so pick up that core. Neck shape, it's harder for most of us. And then as you come back, again, easier to feel it, but here comes the core lift. Let's do one more time. Feel that rootedness down below as you reach up. And then. Lovely, and that's giving the adrenal glands a really nice squeeze, which means that you might want to rub them a little bit, warm them up, and bring the palms of the hands if you're comfortable doing so, like little hot water bottles, and let them just relax. This is going to help us later when we do our relaxation. And then release. Lovely. It's a nice little rub. You can do it sitting as well if you don't want to do it in child pose, because we're going to come to sitting anyway. Lovely. Okay, so just a little bit more on the actual core itself. We're going to do this one with the legs out in front. So here we are. And even just to sit up with my legs out in front, I have to engage my core. Otherwise, I'm going to be pushing with my buttocks or my spine and trying to get my, and that's when you bend the knees and you tighten the back of the legs. So if we can imagine again, we've got that cord attached to the wall in front of us, we're picking up our marble as we try and sit back a little and drop the sack of potatoes behind us. This is where last week's session really comes in handy, because we did a bit of this last week. Now, what happens if I want to lift one leg off the floor, even if I don't lift it very far, is that all that network that we engaged standing comes into play. And then put it down and do the other side so you can feel it. Oh yeah, it's still there. Okay. Just before we go and do anything more, just in case we're still struggling a little bit with what picking up that marble is, there's an excellent exercise here. If you bring your body into a C shape and bring your hands a bit sort of midway of your thighs, and imagine that you're going to push on your hands and pick your bottom and legs off the floor. I said imagine. I did say imagine. Now, as you do that, can you feel how the core here, you're kind of literally sucking up so much more through the center of the body? Okay, that is your main core muscle. And it's internal. Now, for us ladies, it's fairly easy to imagine. We're squeezing up through the vulva. For gentlemen, you have to sort of think about, or Somebody said to me in class, you know, imagine you've got one, like the ladies, and that made everybody laugh. But yes, it does work. All right, let's bring the feet on the floor. So we're going to do boat pose, but we're going to do it start it easy with one leg at a time, so you can really feel this. We've got one foot on the ground, which means we've got the support for the core. So as I lift this leg up, doesn't matter how high it goes, try not to lean back. Remember, you've got that cord holding you forward. Use the leg to support, but pick up the marble, really pick it up. Lovely, and then we'll swap sides. Just again, think about every time I've got to pick up the marble. Now let's come on to the balls of the feet. Now we've got this foot's not doing very much anymore. Now only the core muscles really work. You might feel a bit of inner thigh work when you get up high, but every time you feel like I'm wobbling or trembling, engage the core more. Engage the core more. Try 2 legs. Try letting go. Oh, got to really engage the core, otherwise you fall backwards and that lovely cord snaps. All right, let's circle a little bit because that is quite hard. Now, if you felt your back ache, if you felt your hips ache, or your inner thighs or your thighs ache when you were doing that last one, it's because you're compensating for lack of core strength with the support muscles. The support muscles are not supposed to be used in a pose like that. It's meant to be mainly core. So again, anytime you're feeling pain, you're going, I really need to put up. Oh, good. And that way, you know, it takes away from the pain. All right, so we want to do a bit of stretching. So let's get these legs out in front. Let's do a forward bend again. Let's come back to this one, then we'll bring it into other things. Because it's so handy for stretching the core. Not only does it give you a real sense of the center line of your body, which we're going to look at in a second, but it also allows the back of the body to relax. So as you begin to stretch, just think about tick-tock. If you don't know what it is, we'll be doing a bit more later, but it's all about letting go of your legs and softening the toes. And then once the back of the body feels heavy and the sack of potatoes is there in your lower back and your legs are letting go, as you breathe out, pick up your marble. Nothing happening on the inner thighs really because they're having a stretch, hopefully. It's all isolated to picking up that marble. Now, for those of you that have been doing work with me for a long time, you'll know that generally when we begin, I say breathe out, C shape, pick up your marble. But actually, the pickup stays even on the in-breath. As we did earlier when we did the upward dog, you know, even in S shape, we're still rooting because we're always rooting. The core, once upon a time, before we had babies anyway, us ladies, was always holding. You see, can you breathe in? As you breathe in, can you meet that pickup? As you breathe out, can you pick up some more? Let's come into a nice wide triangle stretch. Now, when we're in triangle stretch, the inner thighs are getting stretched. And that means that we can't use them. So let's slide forward. Again, drop the buttocks, let go of the legs. Think FPR, think letting go. That heavy, you're feeling that heavy, relaxed feeling that you get. And then as you breathe out, feel how much harder it is to pick up the marbles because the inner thighs aren't there to support you. So relax those toes, let go in the jaw and neck. Remember, that's the other half to this pattern. On the one side at the front, you've got all this activity with the core and the back of the body melting, softening, letting go.
Can you meet the pickup with the breath? Can you make sure that that core is still picked up even as you breathe in? As the rest of the body relax up, the upper body and chest and shoulders aren't doing very much. Can you relax them? It's quite difficult. You know, you tend to hold on all over the place when all it is about letting go. Let's turn to face one leg. Now, we've got to soften this other leg now, because as we go forward, it's going to come with us. So I've got my hand here. It reminds me to let that leg go right from the beginning. Once I've got the stretch I want, again, I'm going to drop down that sack of potatoes, let go, and the toes. Relax the jaw and neck. And now as I breathe out and pick up my marble, I can feel that it gives me that extra bit of mobility, of stretch. The back of the body letting go, the toes softening, the jaw and neck. Front of the body, core active. Taking your time, up to you how long you stay there. You might be doing some really deep work and want to stay a bit longer, that's fine. You know what to do. It's the same thing on the other side. You're just going to turn to face that leg and slide yourself forward. Again, you can use the hand like I do to just remind this leg to stay down as you move forward. Or you can just put it down when you're there. And again, the back of the body letting go and the core active, picking up. And keep the legs wide still. If you want to, you can widen them even more. You've lost that inner thigh stretch. Now we're going to do a sideward bend. So turn to face one leg and slide the hand down the other one as far as it will go. Again, you'll find that you will pick up this hip, so put it back down. Remember, sack of potatoes in the back of the body, heavy leg. Now, bring the arm up and reach. It's like somebody's trying to pull that sack of potatoes off the floor with a drawstring. They're not getting anywhere because it's too heavy. And as you breathe, you can feel the side of the body. Here's the diaphragm, possibly feeling a little bit tight, especially if you've been trying to use it to use your core. We'll be doing this next week, how to make sure that the diaphragm doesn't get involved with core work. Lengthening. Think of that lovely warm honey in the center of the chest, melting down towards the belly. And you're going to reach up and turn. And again, slide the hand down. Get your sack of potatoes there, dropping, reaching with the arm, dropping down, engage your core. Coming up. Okay, so If you want to, you can keep the legs as they are or bring them a little bit wider. I like to do that because I know that I'm doing a bit of a stretch. We're going to do a twist in this pose. It's quite tricky, so you might just want to bring your legs in front. It's up to you. And then we're going to just look over the shoulder, feeling that wringing out, feeling all through the spine that you're wringing out a dishcloth in your back. Let go of your buttocks, engage your core, and feel the core turn you more. And then coming down the other way. And relax the legs, engage the core, feel that pull you round. Lovely. And as we've done all that leg stretching, all of that time, when we do bring the legs out in front, with any luck, they are going to feel heavy. And the lower back is going to feel like it's sinking. And now we have a bit of a clear idea of that core that I keep talking about. You can lean into the relaxation of your back as your core lifts on its own. Nothing else is happening, especially when we're just sitting. Okay. Let's do one more twist. One leg in front, one leg behind. So I'm going to cross over this time. And opposite hand, opposite knee. And one hand behind. Now, I used to have a yoga teacher in my 20s, right, who would say, and tuck in your big belly. And I was like 20, I didn't have a big belly then. Now I know what she means. So as you look over the shoulders, you breathe out and pick up your marble. Feel that belly tuck in and see how that really helps to get you around a bit further. Relax those legs, those toes, the jaw, the neck, the back of the body soft, the sack of potatoes sinking, and only the core and your arms turning you. And you can start to see how the core is the major center of all movement. So when you see like a ballerina or an acrobat or an athlete, you know, and you see their strength, what you're looking at, that stability, that grace that they have, is the fact that everything is coming from that really strong core of theirs. And as you breathe out, pick it up, pick up the marble. Get used to using it all the time. Let the back of the body relax, the jaw, the neck. Just feel how much deeper you can go. Lovely. So another really nice sign that we've done a good job is that when we circle here, we can feel that the back of the body and the legs are almost detached. And especially as you come down into the back of the circle, the C part, that core just does a little pick up. You can feel it. Oh, there it is. But the rest of the body is really soft. Change direction at some point. Lovely. And then we're going to come down onto the floor. So you have options here. You can just come down because you might be tired. This is, you know, quite a lot of work if you're not used to it, especially. But otherwise, you can practice this one. You've got the feet slightly on the floor, so you can use your toes and get a little bit of support from your inner thighs. And then slowly descend. Reach with the hands. And whenever you feel like you're going to fall, engage the core more. Engage it more, engage it more, engage it more. So that when you get to the floor, it's like, oh, my back of my body's going to melt. But I'm still going to feel my core. Let's do a little finishing sequence. Got the soles of the feet on the floor here for our bridge. Now, even before you lift the pelvis off the ground, tuck the tail and get that C shape in a little. Feel the core engage. The big toes, arches, inner thighs are all supporting the lift of the pelvis. Now it's fine until about halfway up, but then when you get into S shape, some people lose the core. So think about it as you get higher and you go into more of a back bend, engage that core more. Tuck the chin in. You can use your hands for that if you need to. And then once you're at the top, as high as you're going to go, think, oh, I've got to relax my buttocks. And when you do that, there's like a little bit more room for a stretch. And if you want to really practice the core, you could take a heel off and go, oh, look, that's the core there. I can feel it now. That's the core. On the other side, as you take the heel off the other side, and then put the heels back down and activate, really activate from the front. Relax the back. As you know, those of you that have been with me for a long time, you can have the arms up and over as you come down. And if you want to do all of this movement that we do for the spine here, this S to C, and side to side rock and twisty rock, all of this is being managed by the core. The more the core is involved in this, the actual more precisely you can target each vertebra. And just moving the vertebra in all directions requires you to do it with the core so that the muscles can be relaxed and can actually move. So if you're doing this and going, oh my God, I'm not sure that I can move these muscles, they're all really stiff, it could be that you're tightening them instead of tightening in the core. So try and transfer all the work back to the core. Get all that movement in, it feels so good. Bringing the arms to the sides. Now normally we put our foot on the knee and push this leg over, and you could do that if you're getting tired, but you could also try one leg up in the air because that involves your core. You can feel the inner thigh working there to support. And then I'm going to bring that leg over using my core. Now obviously there comes a point where it's like, oh, it's a bit uncomfortable and I can't stretch here very well. So just bend the knee and place the foot back on the other knee and look over the other side and have your stretch anyway. But again, as you breathe out, relax the legs, let go of the toes and engage that core at the front. Breathe. Now, when you come out, you can, if you're really keen, you can straighten the leg up again. You can feel like, oh, I've got to really use my core to get myself back up. But usually towards the end of the class, you're all a bit tired. So don't worry if you don't want to. It's just an option, it's there. As always, listen to your own body. Okay, foot back onto the knee if you've been using the leg and stretching on the other side. Again, as you breathe out, engage the core. Every out breath, feel that little marble picking up. Relax the legs. Feel that stretch coming that little bit deeper. Again, you can use the legs straight to come up, or you can just roll back up. Okay, final pose. We're going to sit on our hands and stretch out the legs. Now, even though we're in an S shape, as we found out earlier, the core still is anchoring us in. So as we lift up and back, feel the anchor come up the center of the body. Draw that line all the way up to the belly button. And then the arms activate. Breathe in, lengthen. Relax the jaw and neck, the toes, make sure the back of the body is soft. And really the arms are taking all the strain, all the weight. And the core is just there anchoring you in. So the spine doesn't feel like it's flying off. And then we're going to roll the head in, tuck the chin in. That's hopefully sorted out our hormones. So as we come down here, we can feel, A little flush as the happy hormones flush through the body. And with all that stretching that we've done, we've probably consumed quite a bit of cortisol and adrenaline. So the only thing that's missing to get a good relaxation now is to bring in a rock or a TikTok. So take your choice if you know which ones. I'm just going to demonstrate the knee bend rock. So we're pushing through the feet. The body is like a blob of jelly. And again, the work here is primarily in the core. Nothing else is working. I'm not pushing with my buttocks. I'm not trying to move with my spine. I'm actually just moving with my core. Got a little bit of support from my feet and legs. And there's this pull and push that I'm doing against the floor as I rock. But remember, you've got the knees up rock, you've got TikTok, you've got bottom roll, you've got side rock, so many different rocks you could choose from. Up to you. As time goes on, you start to get smoother, softer, more jelly-like. Find a rhythm in the back of your head. And quite soon you'll find that the nervous system tells you, okay, done the job, thanks. So when there's a change, I'm listening out for that. And then we're going to stretch out the legs and we're going to have this really relaxing feeling come. And so we're ready for our relaxation. And the relaxation today is going to mirror the work that we've done. So as you breathe in, imagine that you are breathing in perhaps your favorite color or a color that you consider to be healing or relaxing. Breathe that color into your core. And as you breathe out, imagine that that color becomes brighter, shines a bit, gets all shiny. Breathing in the color into the core area. Favorite color, and as you breathe out, it gets brighter. Almost like you're made of water and you've put, ink, and the ink is spreading with every breath, and more of you is being infused with this color. Until the whole of you is bright with this color, whole of that core. Now imagine as you breathe in that the hips open like little trapdoors and allow some of this ink to travel down, this colour to travel down through the thighs, front, back and sides, the knees, the calves, the shins, the ankles, the top of the feet, the arches, the toes. And as you breathe in, the colour reaches the toes, and as you breathe out, it spreads a little, becomes a bit brighter, and your awareness returns to the core. Breathing in, more of this colour travels down the legs, ankles, feet, toes. And breathing out, more of the body suffused with that colour, brighter as you bring it into the core. Bring your awareness back to the core. One more breath like this. Now letting the breath come up from the core through the spine, the back of the body between the shoulder blades, into the shoulder blades, up through the neck to the jaw, where the jaw lets go. And then it begins to spread like ink across the face, the lips, the cheeks, around the eyes, the brow, the top of the head, the back of the head. And as you breathe out again, the colour intensifies, it becomes brighter, but your awareness returns down the spine to the core. Breathing in up the spine. Shoulder blades, neck, jaw, releasing the back of the neck, that colour spreading across the face. As you breathe out, you feel it spread some more. Intensify, brighter colour as you come down and your awareness returns to the core. And one more breath like this. This time as you breathe in, feel this colour from the core begin to spread up through the belly. Through the warm honey diaphragm into the chest. Through the top of the shoulders, down the arms and hands to the fingertips. And as you breathe out, colour spreads, intensifies, shines brightly as you take your awareness back to the core. Breathing in, the core spreads up through the belly, the diaphragm, the chest, shoulders, arms and hands. Right to the fingertips. And as you breathe out, your awareness returns all the way back to the chest. Back to the core. And another breath like this. And now see if you can breathe in all the directions. From the core, breathing in, down the legs, sending that colour down to the toes, up the spine to the face, neck, jaw and throat, up the chest and shoulders, arms and hands. And as you breathe out and that colour intensifies and your attention returns to the core, feel the back of the body sink into the ground. Breathing in, the colour spreads. Breathing out, our attention returns to the core and the body melts into the earth. And it's like the more you can dissolve into that colour, and let go into the earth, you feel that the core holds you together and it allows even more unraveling. Have a moment, regardless of the breath, to feel your awareness in the core, the colour suffused in the whole body and the weight of your body as it sinks into the ground, as the floor comes up to meet you and holds you up. Can you feel all of those awarenesses all at once? And so you can keep breathing the colour into all the parts of your body and letting go on the out breath into the floor. And you can sometimes feel all of these sensations at the same time. And just giving yourself the time that you need now to stay. You're at home. You can stay for as long as you like, relaxing. No hurry. I'll see you all next week.